following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Go team of the Senior Bowl.
Is that what it said?
What it sounds like.
It's advertising.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, this is advertising.
Ah, yes. Here we are. It's another Victory Monday, and this is a Victory Monday unlike any other Victory Monday in the history of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, we'll say 20 years ago. 20 years ago.
From inside the SWBC podcast studio at the beautiful Star in Frisco, Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola wearing his Cowboys blue with a star over his heart today.
The Earth is back on its axis.
That's right, baby.
Everything's back to normal the way it should have been.
And, you know, my picks to click suck so much.
Yeah, but I think you got the score right.
No, that was B. William that got 41 to 17.
41 to 17. I wish I was more bold with my prediction.
And then I believe you had Jordan Lewis.
Yeah, right.
Who had Jordan Lewis in here? Nobody. Yes, pick to click.
I had Michael Gallup, and on the first play I said, I wish I had CD.
Yeah, now you don't pick CD. You're a homer.
I think I had Zeke, but at least got 2 touchdowns.
You had Zeke and your Michael Parsons.
And Michael Parsons was pretty strong.
And I had Kellen Moore as my honorable. I had Kellen as my honorable mention. Yeah, I had Kellen, and I had J-Ron Curse, and I thought J-Ron would be on Pitts, but I saw Diggs on Pitts a lot.
To start the game for sure.
They started that way.
Did.
Well, they started not covering them at all. It was like you planned all week and you did this.
Right.
And I figured he had 3 catches for 52 yards in the first. And there was 5 minutes to go in the quarter. And then after that, he had 1 catch for 80 yards. 8
yards.
That's it. So 4 for 60.
I got to say, sometimes the team makes it easier for us. I didn't think they coached well at all.
Well, you know what they didn't do? You know, Vic Fangio screwed him. He didn't leave the blueprint in the visitors' locker room.
That's what it was. It's his fault,
He didn't
man.
take it with him.
And he didn't take it with him. No,
and
he did not take it with him.
And he forgot the blueprint on Sunday, too, for the Eagles.
That's right.
Blueprint my...
blueprint.
Your what?
My...
Blueprint my butt.
Well, it was a fun Sunday.
It really was.
Well, it was. And... when you were talking about score predictions, I was thinking, they outscored mine in the first half.
I swear.
In the second quarter, I think.
I had 38-24.
What did I have? 31.
You had 30-27. You had it much.
I had a closer
game than that.
You got them written down over there? You remember it?
I have them written down.
Secretary Walls.
No. You guys, y'all ignore my accomplishments, and I'm going to start documenting my stuff because you guys are media, and you always just kind of step over me.
Did you have 3 interceptions down?
I did not have 3, but I once again, timing is horrible. I said, you know what, I'm not going to pick Diggs to get one this time because every time I pick him to get one, he doesn't get one.
Did you see where in the last time they had 3 corners interceptions in a game?
No. 85?
88?
88. 88. That was a horrible year.
You had 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was probably my only one that year.
Manny Hendricks
had
1. And Robert Williams had 1.
God, that's really going down there. You
right?
know what I mean? That's remembering some way.
And it was against Washington.
The Redskins.
Yes.
Well, at that time, the Redskins, yeah.
Yes. And that reminded, because somebody said, well, do you remember who the guys were? So I said, well, Walls, Robert Williams, and then I was thinking, and somebody finally, I think Nick said, Manny Hendricks.
Manny Hendricks.
And so Dave Hellman said, so you were probably at that game. And I'm going, what game was it? Like game 15 of the season? Yeah.
88?
No, I was not there because the Cowboys season basically was over by then because you went into that game.
It was over by
They were 3-13.
Yeah.
It was over by Halloween.
So in that game, you were 2-12,
yes.
right? And the Times-Herald sent me to cover Philadelphia, and it might have been Philadelphia and the Giants. It was a big NFC East game.
You mean a winning team?
Yeah, to see who was going to win the division, right? And so that had been the last game I had missed until the first game of the 2018
so
season.
Then you were
and Michael Irvin, that was his coming out game.
That's when he toasted Darryl Green for almost 200 yards.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
2 touchdowns.
Yes.
And he had gone through the season
That was his first game back from his ACL.
Ankle. He had ankle.
Was it ankle?
He had an ankle most of the year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, it's been a while since 3 corners
I'm glad
and
they brought
interception.
Up of all the games that year. That was the only good game that we had.
Yeah, you won.
Yeah, we won. We were 2-14 that year.
No, 3-13.
3-13.
We made 3.
3-13.
Yeah.
Don't cheat yourself.
Hey, man, don't worry.
That was the third win.
Don't worry.
And the most important loss of that season was the last loss, right?
Yes, because that got the first pick in the
that got
draft.
Troy Aikman here. The most important win of that season was a Green Bay win in the last week of the season.
That's right.
That's right. That
God,
got Green Bay. That got Troy Aikman to Dallas.
That got Troy Aikman to
So
Dallas.
we won?
And
we won? Did we win?
We lost.
But we won.
Green Bay won, but we
won.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
And they end up with
You're welcome, Cowboy fans.
and the
We suck.
Packers ended up with Tony Mandrich.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And they eventually wound up with Brett Favre, but it was several years later.
Yes. Well, and the funny thing was the Cowboys were playing coy at that time in '89. Jimmy wasn't going to say, "Yeah, we're taking Aikman," and Jerry was playing along with them, and Jimmy started throwing out this BS about, well, yeah, this Mandrich guy's pretty darn good, and we're looking at him like, are you serious? we ain't falling for that,
dude is,
right?
yeah.
Right. And,
So-
and they signed Aikman before the draft even started, so you knew the Cowboys were taking Aikman before drafting.
The Falcons kind of looked like the '89 Cowboys yesterday.
I'll tell you what, my line in my column.
Not 88, 89.
That's what I said, 89.
Yeah,
89.
that would be the 1 in 15.
Yeah, 89.
They wished they could have left at halftime, and at least by the end of the third quarter.
You could see it.
They wish they would have left with about 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
I'll tell you what.
Things
the
went downhill in a hurry.
The old Eagles line in Hotel California, you can check out, but you can never leave. They had checked out.
Yeah.
When I was looking at the Falcons last week, I was sitting there going,
Against the Saints.
well, not
Was the Saints?
just looking at their stats and their play. I'm like, how is this team 4-4? I mean, if you their numbers on defense, their leading sack guy had 2 sacks, and there were 3 that were tied with 2 sacks. They released one of them. I think they had 2 picks all season. I mean, and then you just look at their running back situation.
Which
it's
is
by
non-existent.
necessity they were
Right.
having to play Cordero Patterson at running back, and without Ridley. And I was, how in the world is this team 4-4? And I'm really wondering it now.
Well,
And
I think
their schedule was bad. They won over.
Right, but I think we were looking at, we knew Matt Ryan could sling the ball around, so you got to worry about that. You got to worry about
The Cordero
Patterson, who ends up with 4 rushes for 25 yards, and he had 1 catch for 14 yards. So he had 39 yards on 5 touches. We're sitting there worrying about who's going to cover that guy, right? And then it was Ryan.
And then the tight end.
And then the tight end, Kyle Pitts, who started off the game like, okay, here we go. And he had 3 catches for 52 yards, like I said, with about 5 minutes left in the first quarter. And then he had 1 more catch the rest of the game. And he doesn't play every down. I was watching. I go, well, where's number 8? And they had a true tight end in there when they wanted to run the ball.
Their game plan was horrible. It just really was. It's almost as if they let off the gas for us. They got the field goal, and of course, we drove down first drive. Opening drive, we got the 7, but then when they got their 3, after that, they just seemed to just shut it down. Like, okay, we're good. We go down, score again, 14-3, and that was it.
After their first 2 possessions, they had 10 more possessions. 6 of them were 3 and out, and 1 was 2 and out. It was at the end of the half.
And their play calling was extremely inconsistent. If I would have still gone on with Cordell Patterson. That's all you have. I would have tried to get the ball to him as much as possible.
And he disappeared.
Along with the tight end, which both of them disappeared. I don't understand it.
And then Hairolahu, he negated his kickoff returns.
That's right. That's his most important role that he had was kicking it through the end zone.
And you know what? And that was what
he booted that thing.
Mike McCarthy was worried about the kickoff.
He booted that thing.
And he had a touchback on every one of them.
I mean, you could see him laying into it. He's jumping off. I mean, there was no smooth get off. No, he was banging that
Made
thing.
all his extra points. And that's to say something. Remember, it's a 33-yard extra point.
How many experienced kickers this year have missed
At
extra
least
points?
miss one when you got to try 5,
That's
right?
right.
And he had, what was it? Was it 7 kickoffs? Yeah, 7 kickoffs, all for touchdowns. And only one was ugly. And I think it was the one to start the second. Yeah. What did I say, touchdowns?
Yes.
Touchbacks, yeah. And only one was ugly. I think
it felt like they were touchdowns.
They were sailing through the end zone.
Touchdowns being scored.
Successful. That was successful.
And don't you just love it when our coach goes for it on 4th down?
Yes,
it's
right.
So
what are you doing?
No, you know what I love? Our goal line. The goal line. There was no drama except for that one stupid play call. Kellen, just stop trying to be cute, man.
Was that
we need one? Yeah,
the pitch.
Dak ended up throwing it out there to Zeke just to get rid of it.
Oh yeah,
just to get rid of it, which was a stupid.
And
call
that's what I said. Run the ball.
Run the ball, man. Zeke is like he's salivating in the back.
So here's what happened. So you go from going on 4th down the week before, 0 for 4. This time you go 3 for 3. You know, and when I was writing, I go, oh, what a difference a week makes. And I said, no, what a difference a half makes.
That's it.
Right? In a half, they had 36 points, 36-3. The biggest lead they've had at halftime since 1971.
Was it 71?
They were against the Jets.
50
they were
years
up
ago.
35.
That's right.
They were up 35.
Golly.
You remember that game?
I do remember that game. That's right. That's right.
He was there.
It was like 52 to.
Yeah, it was. It was 52 to.
See, I told you I remembered it without even looking it up.
You were good.
So now I say, when we look at the Broncos game, it was too bad to look at. To me, this game, too good to look at. It really is. I mean, I wouldn't take it, I'd take it with a grain of salt.
But this is what this team should have done. Right?
And to me,
last
that's
week
status
they didn't
quo.
do what they should have done.
So to me, it's status quo.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to put too much into this win because I know that this is where we're supposed to be. This wipes off last week's aberration. How do you spell it, Bill?
That's it.
B.
No,
just one B
in aberration.
And 2 R's.
That's right.
And
there's
one B in blueprint, too.
That's it, baby. And they left it in the locker room. So, like I said, you can feel good about this game, but this is how we're supposed to win.
See, and that's 2 out of 3 now because the defense played well against Minnesota.
That's right.
And they went ahead and played well against in this game. As a matter of fact, extremely well.
They did.
That offense wasn't all that bad, and they had the potential, and they just shut them down with the interceptions, which, by the way, that's number 8.
And by the way, that was a hell of an interception.
It was.
It was.
Because
Right.
it was
He came
right on him in a hurry.
But he came off his guy to get over there.
Well, he was getting over there. He's headed towards this particular point. I don't know what Ryan was thinking. It was a horrible pass. It's like he was trying to throw it to Diggs, but even a bad pass to Diggs.
I didn't know if he underthrew the guy that was behind him.
He underthrew. I think they
or overthrew one or underthrew the other.
I don't know if there was anybody back there, but to be that quick, to be able to stop, because he was going full speed for a particular point over there Matty throws it here. He stops and just quickly up in the air. And he wasn't just off the ground. He was up off the ground. And to make that catch while doing all of that, that's tough to do.
So
and it's stuck. It's stuck in his hand.
That's 11 career picks in his first 25 games. So he's one of 7 guys have accomplished that.
That's all?
Yeah, because you had 15.
Yeah, I know.
So you were one of 7.
Yeah.
That's another one. We're just letting the world
Let them know,
okay?
baby. Let them know.
One of 7 guys to have at least 11 picks in the first 25
give me
games.
Do you have them all? Do you have them all? The players?
Oh, I didn't see who the other.
okay.
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
That would have been interesting.
And that ties Everson Walls.
Bishop, he got 20 interceptions in 20 games. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, that's right. Bishop.
Darn Bishop.
He had an interception every game in his career.
In his career.
So the eight picks already in the first 9 games ties Everson Walls for the most picks in the first 9 games.
They didn't say that
8
on the TV broadcast.
Well,
what's happening
I'm
there?
telling you,
Because my
because
name
Everson
ain't
had
Dion or somebody else.
Everson
that they
had 8.
have on TV with him.
He had 8 in 8 games in 81, and then 7 in 9 games in 82 strike season.
Yeah, no,
And
that
you
was
got
the whole
postseason
season
in there too. You got
I
the
didn't
playoffs?
count the playoffs.
Okay, you got a couple in a playoff game in 81.
That's right. So,
But they don't count playoff games.
Yeah, I don't know.
well,
why.
not for regular season
They should.
statistics.
But baseball does.
No, they don't.
They
No.
don't?
No,
Okay.
they don't. But there are more important games than regular season games. I don't understand
Man,
why you don't
ain't
count
lying,
them.
bro.
well, that's another category.
It is, but you could have
Most
an
picks-
overall
most
category.
picks in playoffs.
Yeah.
So anyway, he only needs 3 more in 7 games. How many were you at? 9, 7, in 8 games. He needs
My
3
son
more.
called that one. He said, you could just tell because they were so incompetent. He was like, man, they're going to try to throw the ball to Diggs. So he left the room. I don't know what happened. He left the room, and sure enough, when he got it, I had to yell to the back of the house. So, yeah.
Hey,
Well,
how
I'll
about
tell you-
Anthony Brown's interception?
Well, I was just going to say, I don't think I've ever seen an interception that the guy defends the pass, tips it up in the air, and then grabs it himself.
So
It's contagious.
What's the stat on that?
I don't know. Does it
Is
get
that
both?
Yeah, right. A PBU, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And a pick.
And then even Jordan Lewis's one, it was deflected, and he makes.
That's the MVP right there. For
Yeah,
the game.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's discuss more of that when we
that's
come back here on Mick Shots in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done,
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
and then let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Back to Mick Shots.
Hey, did you guys know the Dallas Cowboys take on the Chiefs in Kansas City on Sunday, November 21st at 3:25 p.m.? Join Cowboys Nation at one of 2 free watch parties presented by Miller Lite. Head to AT&T Discovery District or Miller Lighthouse at AT&T Stadium to watch the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader performances, meet the Dallas Cowboys alumni, hang with Rowdy, and more. Pre-game celebrations begin at 1 p.m. at AT&T Discovery District and 2 p.m. at Miller Lighthouse. For more information, visit DallasCowboys.com/watch party. And by the way, free parking at both sites and 104-foot TV, or I guess it's a wall they're going to project the game on at the AT&T district in downtown Dallas.
Really?
Yes.
That's nice.
All right.
That is nice.
Kind of like a college atmosphere.
So is
right?
that where they have the big ball? Remember they have the big ball right there? Is that where it is? You said downtown Dallas?
In the AT&T district.
I don't know where that is. But
I don't
I
either.
do know.
You
remember they had that big eyeball there that people go and walk in front of it, right?
Oh, that might.
I think that's
that might
where it
be.
is.
Well, they've
off
got
of Main
this,
Street. Is it off of Main?
Yes, and
That's
it's a big kind of 2-street deal where there's like a garden in the middle there.
That's it.
You can hang out on the lawn. There's a bunch of restaurants.
No, they had this big old eye up there. Yeah, that was it. That's it.
So something new.
That's cool.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, that was cool. Don't go on that street during the game. Woo,
what a great week this is. You got a Cowboy 43-3 win, and they're going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs, a Chiefs team that got back on track on Sunday night, scoring over 40 points themselves, and most of it in the second half. It was a 17-14 game in the third, and then they took off and won 41-14 over the Raiders.
So
plenty to talk about this week.
Yes. And I'm sure at some point it'll be brought up that, 60 years ago, these two teams were in Dallas, Texas, right?
That's true. The Hunt brothers, right? Is the Hunt brothers or just the Hunt family? The Hunt family?
Hunt.
The Hunt family was.
I thought he said the Hot brothers.
No, the Hunt brothers.
They play for the Preston Road Trophy.
Yeah, they did.
Preston Road.
Still do, don't they? The
I
Joneses
think,
and the
they
Hunts?
still do. Yes, absolutely.
I don't know about the Preston Road Trophy.
Because the Joneses and the Hunts, I guess,
both lived off of Preston Trail,
and so the
Preston Road.
Story was that Lamar started with Jerry.
Yeah, and it was some goofy-looking trophy.
And the first time Kansas City played Dallas after Jerry bought the team, they just the families just played for. There was a trophy they made or something, and so if Dallas won, Jerry got to keep the trophy. If Kansas City won, Lamar got to keep it.
It's a birdhouse.
It's a birdhouse.
That's what I was going to say.
It's a birdhouse.
I was going to say it had something to do with a bird.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sound like a lot to do with
Lamar
ego.
Hunt's nickname was Games, and he always felt like he had to play for something. So they lived pretty much a block away from each other on Preston
And then the
Road.
winner would put the trophy in the picture window of the front of the house.
So you can drive by and
Cute.
Yeah.
That's what Lamar said. I'll put it in my window so you can drive by and look at it.
only learn that stuff on Mick shots.
Yeah, that's very important information.
I had to do a couple stories on this trophy.
We'll do better next time, people.
Yes.
Chris Beam knows all about it. All right, so we were starting talking about the defense and the secondary play and the picks, and you mentioned Jordan Lewis off the top, and your MVP for this game.
MVP for the game. Not only did he make the pick, he also had 2 knockdowns. Three, but 2 consecutive knockdowns.
Back-to-back plays.
That really helped us, solidify things. Let's not take any play for granted, guys, because as we've noticed here, there are games that start off as blowout. We end up as blowouts that we say, just like the other game we mentioned, Kansas City. Well, it was kind of close there for a minute, and then they blow out. They get 40 points. Well, initially that game was a little bit tight. And there are plays and players like Jordan Lewis that can make that difference for that particular play and keeps the momentum going. Because who's to say, just like we didn't go for field goals and missed 4th downs twice, it changed everything for the game at that time and for what went on for the rest of the game.
So
the same thing could have happened if Jordan Lewis doesn't make those plays. You just never know.
Here's where Everson's talking about the Falcons 7-3 made a field goal with 8:24 left in the first quarter. The Cowboys went 3 and out. The Falcons get the ball, and they drive to the Cowboys' 32-yard line. 2nd and 7, Cowboys blitz, and Colston bats the ball incomplete.
Nice play.
3rd and 7 at the 32, and they had Pitts lined up wide by himself. And Matt Ryan throws to Pitts, and Jordan Lewis breaks up the pass, and a lot of it had to do with Parsons taking away the running back because he was looking at the running back, and then he threw. And now it's 4th and 7, and they said, no, we're not kicking a field goal. We're going for it. And
everybody else does.
Lewis breaks up the pass, and Cowboys get the ball. And the rest of the game was history.
That's right.
Because the Cowboys came back and they faced a 4th down, and they made it. It was 4th and 5 at the 33. I don't know if they didn't trust Hyruluhu.
That is very
Hyruluhu?
Hyruluha.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. It's not hallelujah. And they went for it on 4th and 5 at the 33, and CeeDee Lamb runs a deep out.
Nice. Is that when the guy was hanging on to his jersey?
21 yards in the first. I think it was. Yeah. 35. He beat 35. Was that? That was. Avery Will. He wore that guy.
Yes,
they tried to cover him in the
Yeah.
slot.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Don't put your third.
Well, you could say that almost every week for anyone that tries to cover our wide receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, you really
and
could.
see, and that was one of the benefits of having Gallup outside. You put CD in the slot, and now he's against the third corner. And the second or first, I don't know, Morrow, he couldn't.
Gallup was killing this cornerback.
Yeah, he couldn't.
Yeah, he couldn't
cover
go
either.
He could have gotten him deep or short. It didn't really matter.
So the Cowboys ended up going on, scoring a touchdown after that 4th down.
See, and that's the
conversion.
swing right there.
And that was the swing
That's
in
the
the game.
swing.
And now it's 14-3 with 13:24 left in the second quarter.
And we could easily say, it's the Falcons. Just like we could have said last week, it's the Broncos.
Right.
You know, anything could have happened at that moment. If he doesn't knock that down, we don't make our 4th down. Still 7-3, they get the ball back. They could score or a field goal or a touchdown. So many things could happen and gotten away from us just the way it got away from us last week.
And you know,
don't take any play for granted.
And you know, you talked about the Falcons. Well, they're not this or that, but they were 4-4, and in the playoff picture, they were the 7th team. They would have been the last wild
And
card.
they beat the division leader at the time in the Saints last week.
And they didn't lose any ground to Tampa Bay yesterday.
No, they
either.
did not. Hey, how about that NFC East?
Man,
right?
that's crazy.
That's right.
Went 3-0.
Wait,
no
okay.
more making fun of the East.
Let's
okay?
look at the NFC
South.
South with the Packers, right?
No, that'd be the North.
Let's look at the Packers.
Yeah.
The NFC North.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
They're
not
playing
looking
some
at
defense.
They were
there.
very fortunate to win that. It was 3-0.
They're very average as a division. They're very average. I think under the Packers, the highest win is 3 wins.
That's
No,
right. They're all
4.
they're all under
They won
500.
this- yeah.
The rest are under 500.
The rest are under 500, and they're talking about the
Hey,
NFC
but
East.
Detroit got a tie.
Wow, is that crazy?
16-16.
That's crazy.
And the Packers, they struggled, right? It's 3-0 midway through the fourth quarter. Now they finished at 17, but 3-0.
I wanted to say something about, and I am beating a dead horse, but in regards to Rodgers' leadership on this team, they've lost 2 games. 2 games.
8-2.
First game of the year against the Saints.
Right.
Rodgers never showed up for
Clobbered.
off-season, preseason. Maybe that week of practice was the only time he came through, right?
And lost
he
38-0.
And it was because of his bad play. He was throwing crap all over the place. He looked like he hadn't had practice. It's Aaron Rodgers, so it doesn't take long to right the ship. The next week, boom, everything's back to normal. He wins, 6 in a row as a starter?
Yeah, and then they got beat.
And because of his, COVID ignorance.
Right. Missed that game.
Missed that game. So that's the second game they lost. They've only lost 2 games. Every game he has started, they have won. So they could have actually been undefeated if he comes in and acts like a leader that he should act like.
But he was misty-eyed.
That's right. Yeah, misty-eyed. Oh, you love winning. Whatever. Get out of here. So, I mean, I'm just saying, giving him credit, but also letting you know, just because you have that ability as a leader to make a statement or whatever you're trying to make, that doesn't mean you have to. And when it comes to this team, you have cost them 2 losses. As a leader of this team, you cost them directly 2 losses, and now you're in a dogfight with everyone else, Cowboys, everybody else at the top, when you could have been sitting alone at the top.
So you thought the Falcons would have liked to have left at halftime yesterday?
Yes, I
think so. Or maybe how about 2/3 of the way through the game? Would they have liked to leave?
Yes.
I think I'd like to leave 2/3 of the way through this show.
Nice transition.
I got to run.
What a segue. What a segue.
But Bill's not leaving.
Sneak on out of here, man.
He's not leaving because he's losing, okay?
No, we're winning.
That's
we're winning.
right.
That's
right.
right.
That's the best way to leave as a winner.
He just lost something.
I lost something I have to go home and get. Okay, to do my other job.
We will carry on.
Okay, and after this, Mick Shots returns in a moment.
Without you.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Back to Mick Shots.
Give the gift of the Cowboys this season with the Dallas Cowboys United membership presented by Globe Life. It's the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Membership starts at just $20 and include an exclusive fan pack and VIP member experiences. 'Tis the season. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United to get yours today. I had to slow that thing down, make sure I got it right.
Indeed, this is the season, right?
This is the
As we
season.
return to Mick Shots here on DallasCowboys.com in the SWBC podcast studio.
Drop the mortgage.
Everson Walls, Mickey Spagnola. We had to boot Bill Jones out of here before we talked about college football.
No, we're going to talk behind his back.
Oklahoma.
Oh,
right?
man. Give me a break, man. He better be glad he got out of here. I was so mad at Oklahoma. But they let me down like this every year. This was their chance. This was it. You could have moved up. I mean, first of all, I thought they should have moved up.
Well, they better be careful. They just make the Big 12 playoff game.
So this week is Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah.
So would they play them? They wouldn't play them twice.
It's in Norman.
So I'm saying.
Well, they could.
They could.
They could play them now and play them in in the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see how it all stacks out.
Yeah, Bill's nervous.
All right, so the Cowboys moved to 7-2, have a 4-game lead in the NFC East.
The Eagles.
What did I
The
throw
Eagles
you
have
my
won
standing?
4 games themselves, correct?
Did I throw you my standing?
You didn't throw me anything. Nope.
Where did they go?
If you did, I'd catch it.
Anyway, yeah, and so, but they got a 3-game swing coming up. That's going to be very important. Starting
As
with
always
Kansas
this time
City,
of year, right?
Starting with Kansas City, the Raiders on Thanksgiving, and then at New Orleans the following Thursday.
That's a tough stretch, man.
So this is that tough stretch of 3 games in 12 days that they continue to get, tagged with.
And it's
by
not
the
just
schedule makers.
It's not just the schedule itself, the strength of the teams.
Right.
It's at a high level.
And with 2 of the 3 games on the road. This is a tough stretch for them. But, again, if you play like they did against Minnesota, if you play like they did against the Falcons, then, you can compete for this. I'm sure now, after everybody was trashing them last Monday, this Monday, they might be one of the best teams in the NFL.
Before I started doing this podcast, I never listened to sports talk radio just because of the reason I'm about to tell you now. There are so many bandwagon guys out there. It is ridiculous. Not only bandwagon guys, you've got former players who are supposed to be objectively giving their opinion. All of their opinions are slighted by their hate for the Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely.
It is ridiculous, man.
Yep.
I mean, let's just be real. London Fletcher, he's out there. He's got his own podcast. I just heard him as I was going to play golf today at the Cowboys place. And he mentioned all of these great teams in the NFC. He mentioned 3 great teams, Bucks, Packers, Rams. Wasn't crazy about the Cardinals. Didn't even want to say the D word. The D word was killing him. And so finally, one of the other commentators was like, hey, London, you're not going to say anything about the Cowboys? It's had a big win. So he's harping on Denver still. And he says, well, I played with Washington, so I can't even say that word. To me, that's doing us a misjustice.
Well, these guys, and they're all like.
They're all like
right?
that.
If you think about some of the guys that always criticize the Cowboys, they're former players
that wanted to be drafted by the Cowboys
and got their butts beat.
And then their entire goal in life for their career, let's see how many times I can beat the Cowboys because I'm mad at them because they didn't draft me. Well, dang, we can't draft everybody. And so now you got these guys giving you slanted information based on their own personal grudge against the Cowboys, which I think is kind of like, it's a bunch of BS.
So let's put this 7-2 start in this perspective. It's the 3rd best start for a Mike McCarthy head coach team. Only the 3rd. The Packers one year went 9-0, and one year they went 8-1.
Which one was it ended in 2011?
I didn't look that up. I just saw the 9-0 and the 8-1. So this is 7-2 is the 3rd best start. So that tells you this is kind of special, right? Now, obviously, the last time the Cowboys did it was 2016 when they were on their 11-game winning streak. And we'd be remiss if we didn't point out no DeMarcus Lawrence, no Randy Gregory, no Neville Gallimore. That's 3/4 of the starters on that defensive line, and they shut this team down to 3. And I don't care if it was the Detroit Lions.
Don't care.
They shut them down to 3 points, right?
Don't care. That's right.
And the guy we've been waiting on to step up and do something, Doris Armstrong, comes on strong in the game. He gets a sack and a block punt.
Oh, that was a heck of a play. That might have been the best effort I've seen from anyone on this team this year, which is saying a lot considering how we've seen Gregory play, considering how we've seen Parsons play on defense. That might be one of the best defensive plays I've seen this year for the Cowboys.
The sack or the block punt?
The block punt.
And, the sack came from they stood him up in the middle the way they were doing Randy Gregory
That's
and
crazy.
Parsons,
That's a
right?
big man to be standing up.
And they kind of played him that way a little bit in training camp, like he was a stand-up outside 3-4 linebacker or whatever. And I was always like, what are they doing?
He's too big, you think.
But in the middle, he came through there. And then on the block punt, if anybody needs a film of the exact technique you're supposed to use to block a punt, because he comes in one-handed, made sure he didn't run into the punter and gets the ball, and then we get a little poetic justice because Nashawn Wright, who mistakenly touched the block punt
that's right.
last week, ends up recovering it in the end zone.
I just thought about that. That is very cool.
There was some stat that was the first time ever that the Cowboys had a defensive end have a sack and a block punt in the same game.
Well, we're making all kind of moves this year.
Yeah, how about that?
That's not the first. That
but he came in there, it looked like, I don't know if it looked like the Falcons had a chance to recover it in the end zone. It would have been a safety.
Yeah.
But he comes sliding in there and recovers it. So,
and it's
good
almost
on
as
him.
if it's almost as if he didn't want to touch it outside.
I'm going to stay away from
he's
that
going to
thing.
brush it in. He kind of slid on in because if he catches it here and a guy touches him as he's sliding, then they might put it at the 1 yard line.
And then our other worry was the offensive line, right? Would another week of practice help Lale Collins and Terrence Steele? Well, yes, it did.
Yeah,
right.
It did.
Now they put the two tight ends over on either side quite a bit.
I saw that.
But still, they were on their own, and they did a heck of a job.
How many rushing yards did we have?
They only had. That was the surprising
like 150
thing.
or so, right?
No. That was the surprising statistic in the game, because when I went to look to see, I figured Zeke had about 70 or 80 yards. He had 41.
That's right.
Pollard had 42, so they rushed for 114 yards.
Okay.
But it was
very timely.
That's
right. They set us up for third and shorts, or they got the first down.
Or they got the touchdown on goal for 1 yard, 2 yard
and
runs.
see, let's just be real. All of this is just dress rehearsal, because we're going to need Zeke in January. Love Pollard, man. Pollard's going to be still a great change of pace for us. But when we start talking about how we're going to need Zeke in January, I want him to continue along his pace. Take your time. Nobody's looking for 1,500-yard rushing season. I just want him to be ready to move the chains for us.
And he almost, that trick play.
Oh, man.
I mean, he almost gets in.
He sure did.
And then they get a BS holding call on Noah Brown.
On the beautiful play by Kellen Moore.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, I
designed
love
that sucker.
Oh, my goodness.
And then you're thinking, I should have saved that.
Even the comment, I know. No, I tell you what he's saving. You know what he's saving?
Right.
CeeDee Lamb.
Right.
CeeDee Lamb is going to throw a touchdown sometime in an important game this year.
He's got one of the best
No
arms
one's
on the
going to
team.
see it coming but us. That's
Yeah.
it.
But that, that was another big play by Pollard.
Zeke almost broke one as well, running left, and we cut it off into the hole. He tried to split him, and he got tripped up by the last man.
So a lot of young guys that got some playing time finally came. All of a sudden, Golston's making plays.
Look good.
And then Parsons and
Armstrong was the man.
Continued making their plays, but Armstrong played really well. And I didn't see it, but I heard somebody say that DeMarcus Lawrence tweeted out soon, and if you see him do his rehab work, I mean, he
looks ready.
He's right around the corner. I mean, and I'm thinking since they get 3 weeks to practice before they have to make a decision off IR, I'm thinking he's about ready to start practicing. Now, I don't know if they do it this week or, then the next game is a short week. But then he could practice for however many times they practice before the Saints game, and then you would be ready the next week. Because obviously when they bring these guys back, their MO is you practice 1 week, that's great. Then the next week you practice and play.
Yes.
And it's been a 2-week thing. So if you want to use that 2-week thing, you got to get them going pretty soon. And Tyron Smith, the same thing. When you see him do his rehab, he's moving really well. So he may be ready too. So
well, here's one thing I enjoyed was it turned out just the way we talked about it. you loved having Parsons inside.
Right.
I liked having him on the outside in certain situations, and that's just how they used him.
And they did both.
They did both. They had him inside on run, but then when it was a clear pass, we were blowing them out. And we knew they weren't going to run the ball. Parsons had one of the best sacks I've seen him make all year with the quick move inside.
It was a 76. McGarry.
Oh, he faked him out like it was a basketball.
He took a jab step to the left and he
boom,
just went inside. And it's like, oh, see you, dude.
And that was almost it was a strip sack, but they ended up recovering.
Right, but exactly. So
that's huge.
You bring them from anywhere on the field, and that's the key.
And when the boys come back, then there's going to be more packages that we can deal with.
How about this for timing? So I must have wrote the story on Parsons for the Star Game Day magazine like over a month ago.
Great cover, by the way. Did you see the cover?
Ago. Yeah, it's on the cover.
That's pretty cool.
And for some reason, they held it out. I don't remember why. They didn't run it. But it ran Sunday, right? And basically, my lead was, keep an eye out. Where's Micah Parsons? And
like, where's Waldo?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it turned out perfectly because is he going to be in the middle?
That's right.
Is he going to be a strong side linebacker? Well, maybe defensive end. And he probably did a little
stand-up blitzing, whether he's a traditional linebacker in the middle or you put him on the end.
Yeah,
that's going to be amazing.
And I think also. We'll go overtime, but we need to do this. Game ball goes to Dan Quinn. He had that defense ready to go, right?
That's right.
And he didn't want to talk about Atlanta. He didn't want to say, this is revenge or whatever. And I thought Micah Parsons, this kid's 22 years old, but he's so perceptive. When they asked him, was Quinn different? And he goes, I haven't seen his face so red all the time during practice, but it wasn't about because they were going to play Atlanta. It was because what happened against Denver.
That's right.
And he said Dan Quinn was like that not because he's not coaching Atlanta, because he's coaching the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
And he wanted the best for them.
That's right.
And he ends up getting the game ball. And if anybody hasn't seen the little celebration from the locker room when he got it, it's on DallasCowboys.com. And all the guys just went crazy grabbing him and jumping on him.
Hey, man, when you get let go, it was midseason, right?
5 games in.
Come on. If you get let go like that, everyone knows that you feel a little something.
Yeah.
It's okay for that. They know you feel it too. The Falcons know that. So when they were taking that butt whooping, they know they deserved it.
It was almost like, this guy knows too much about us.
There you go. Okay, then it seems like they just gave up.
So good on Dan Quinn. Now, again, as he spoke after the game, it's like this is a stepping stone in the right direction. Now we got to keep.
So he
going.
didn't sound like Fangio from last week.
No,
right?
he didn't he didn't act like he just split the atom, right? Yeah, it's like okay, we got to.
We're back on track,
and now you get tested by Kansas City.
That's right.
All right, we finished with Mick Shots here. Everson's Walls, Mickey Spagnola, Bill Jones with us for 2/3 of the show, and we hope he gets back in time to continue his work here. And we will continue with Mick Shots tomorrow at 1:30 on DallasCowboys.com.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?